Is everyone still there? Yes. Is that the energy in this hall for a keynote speaker? Let me ask you again. Is everyone still there?
Yes.
Yes, that's better. Keep it up because I'll be checking on that from time to time. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How many of you have felt anxious while delivering a speech in your club? Say aye.
Aye.
All right. Sounds great. We are on the same boat. When your division director asked me to give a keynote, the first thought that came to my mind, hang on, my mentor never trained us for that. But after spending 6 years into Toastmasters, the one thing I can say confidently, for all those sitting here and few of the Toastmasters still stuck in the traffic, we all share one thing in common. We all can speak. Whether it's your work or at your family function, okay, not in front of your spouse maybe, but a birthday toast, a cocktail party, a wedding ceremony, golden anniversary, or even a eulogy, we all have found our voice. And for those who believe that they can't speak, let me tell you this. In Toastmasters, we all are the brand ambassadors of storytelling. And those of you who still doubt of it, the least you can think of yourself are that you are a great story listener. Before moving forward, let me roll back the reels of my life, how this journey of Toastmaster and why it happened to me. Back in 5th standard, the school was preparing for annual day function and teachers were busy in the talent hunt. I was full on hope, 0 on talent, and minus on confidence. But I wanted to be on that stage so badly that the only confidence I had was to raise my heartbeat. Luckily, my mother sensed this and she asked my dad for what you can expect from a reluctant father to do. Talk to my teacher. And he did. And finally I got selected. But the teacher played it safe. Instead of giving me any speech or any role like that, she preferred me to give a mute air traffic control type role where I was just standing, signaling, gesturing with my hands and nothing to speak. That was my big debut on the stage that lasted for a minute. But that 1 minute seemed to be an hour of punishment with my knees knocking, hands trembling. I was nervous. That, ladies and gentlemen, was my first silent start to public speaking. Fast forward to my graduation, I held this dream of speaking in group discussions or debates. But thanks to my engineering over MBA, the only thing I could speak to were machines. And they never talked back, at least in those days. Then I auditioned for a skit, hoping that this time I'll get a chance to speak something on the stage. But once again, it was a performance where I had to use my body and 0 dialogues. Basically, I was a furniture with emotions, kept silent on a side. But that didn't let my dreams die down. I played it smart and took another route. I joined in a group song. Not because I'm a good singer, but because nobody would notice my voice. You see, if everybody sings off key, the doubt won't come on any one person that who went wrong. Then later on in my life, I joined Rotary, a club dedicated for social services and community building, where I interestingly introduced a concept called Man Ki Baat, in which every member was supposed to speak in meetings. Nice initiative, yes? But ironically, the person who introduced this never took a chance by self. That's me. Every time the opportunity came up, I either used to push it to the next meeting or pick up someone else to speak instead of me. But in 2018, I attended a 3-day training seminar in which the coaches came all the way from US, UK, Canada, Singapore. And the hall was packed with 300 people, lights beaming, energy buzzing, and the speakers had the audience in their grasp. Every word seemed like poetry, every gesture like theater, every voice like a symphony. I was mesmerized by the way not just these coaches were handling, but the audience got captive with their performance. I couldn't resist but ask the person sitting next to me, how do these guys have this confidence on the stage, such fine vocabulary, and such a good story structure? That's beyond my imagination. He smiled and said, well, most of them would be or still are a part of Toastmasters. I wondered, how can sandwich lovers become world-class speakers? It took me a while to understand that he was not talking of breakfast, he was talking of Toastmasters. And that day, I discovered something important. That these stage masters didn't get the spotlight by chance. It was a matter of training, rehearsing, failing, and that's how they found their voice. In a closed room like this, where people must have encouraged on their brave attempt to stand and express themselves. And I did just want to sit there, listen to them. I wanted to step on that stage and maybe mesmerize someone just like the way I got. But again, lazy me. Took almost 1 year to Google what this Toastmaster is all about. And in September 2019, I checked in to my nearby club and expressed to the president about my interest of becoming a public speaker, a better communicator at work, and influence the people on social media, and so on and so forth. She got so impressed and carried away that she came close to me and uttered those 3 magical words that I cannot forget. You are confused. In my early speeches, I used to stand with my hands tightly clasped as if to safeguard my manhood from any surprise attack. Then one fine day, a mentor gently opened my hand and said, don't worry, you are in a safe space. This is no place to guard yourself. This is a place to grow. And from there on, every time it was open heart, open hands, and escalating to new levels of confidence with each speech. Long before I lost my sight, I was already invisible to many, and even worse, to myself. You see, I suffer from a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, a rare eye disease, degenerative in nature. But in Toastmasters, it didn't just help me see the light. Rather, it helped me become a light. I joined Toastmasters to become better at speaking. Turns around, I became better at impacting. For a person who could barely stand in front of people because of the shyness, uncertainty, I was quiet and mum for most of the time because I was scared to speak. And when you can't see the world and feel unheard, silence becomes your new identity. For the first year, I said no to any leadership role that came my way. Because I thought that that's for the extroverts who can see that whiteboard, go onto that stage without any help. But this is Toastmasters. It doesn't push you. Rather, it pulls the leader out of you gently, patiently, and powerfully. I think that deserves applaud for Toastmasters. From there on, I started saying yes to all the executive roles one at a time. And only last year, I became the president of my club, and that too for 2 successive tenures. But I didn't become the leader by becoming a president. I became a leader because someone believed in me even before I could believe in myself. Right from the roles that I took as SAA, Sergeant at Arms, a role that no one would actually fight for. Even I couldn't see the stage, but now I was setting it up. Treasurer, numbers always scared me, but it was the accountability that built my backbone. And handling that small budget of 50,000 rupees gave me that knowledge which no financial course could ever give me to handle public money, trust, and plan the operations of a club. VP membership. When I doubted why would somebody like to talk to me, it was my role to ensure that the person joining in is felt seen, because we aren't just building a club, we are building connections. And as a role player, you don't have to stand out, rather you have to reach out. Then came the role of VP Public Relations. Blind person doing PR? Why not? Because communication, it doesn't matter how you see the world. What matters is how the world sees you. And for that instant, I also built up my social media accounts on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and let me have this opportunity of promoting myself. Guys, feel free to follow me at Spirit of Sushant. Thank you. Then I took this role of secretary, which actually sharpened my skill of paying close attention to what everyone is saying, organizing my thought, strengthening my brain's muscle memory. Although I couldn't see the minutes, but I was capturing the moments of every meeting. And then came the VP Education, the game changer. I was no more a part of the system, rather I was building it up. Helping others find their voice helped me believe and trust mine even more. Speech after speech, from club to contest to auditorium, I started believing that I belong to this place. And when I took the president role, the same person who could barely speak was now leading a club. It was not just a promotion, it was a personal revolution. And now I was speaking on professional platforms, leading my teams at work to take up new initiatives where the agenda was not just the project but the people first. And even my compliments followed the opening, body, and conclusion approach. It was from there that I started believing you don't need to see the world to bring a difference. You just need a platform, a push, and a purpose to do so. And Toastmasters gave me all those three. It was because of this Toastmasters platform and taking up the roles of executive committee that I took up another role at my Rotary Club of leading the club as a president after 12 years of ignoring it just because of stage fear. But Toastmasters gave me that voice and courage to speak up to my thoughts, bring a difference in someone's life, and execute those social projects that I always wanted to. It was in my tenure that I was able to scale up the budget of our club to $60,000, which was the highest at that point in time, and still after 16 years remains to be the highest budget now. And for the work, I dropped my shyness, accepted the way I am, and gave boost to my team to take newer initiatives, which helped all of us rise and scale up our organization by 20 to 25% of growth year-on-year basis. Why this all happened? Because in leadership, communication contributes to 80% of your success. And as a person who was scared of stage and strangers, not able to talk to them, I was now standing tall, feeling not just perfect, but proud of myself. And I learned that in leadership, there are these key lessons that one should always remember. Leadership is not about power. Leadership is about purpose. A good leader always goes the way, knows the way, and then shows the way. Leaders lead by example, not by authority. And it's easy to lead. Challenge comes when you have to create a future leadership. And in Toastmasters, it's all about serving as a leader, not by being above someone, but by being besides everyone. One of the instances that I remember when Sir Ratan Tata was asked for his greatest joyous moment, and the expected answer was that it could be any wealth or award that he might have attained, to which he surprisingly said that the greatest joy he achieved was when he was donating those wheelchairs to disabled children, and one of them clutched him with his feet and stared at him. He said, "I want to remember your face so that when you meet me in heaven, I can recognize and say thank you once again." That is the impact of a leader. Now let me ask you this. What impact are you thinking to bring in someone's life? With that, let me ask you once again, are you guys still there?
Yes.
Is that the energy you have? Are you guys still there?
Yes.
Thank you. You had been an awesome audience. Thank you so much. Thank you.